All right, so this is video number 2 for everyone is tulip.com. I'm Dave Baker,
I'm Nicole Goux.
and we, along with Ellie Hall, are the creators behind Everyone is Tulip. So we, if you haven't seen the other video that we made in a hopefully long-running series of videos in which we talk about the comic books, please go watch that. This is number 2, where we're going to be talking about the pages that were updated. I guess before we dive too deep in, Nicole, how are you feeling about the reception to Everyone is Tulip?
Good. I'm very excited that everybody is able to kind of little at the start kind of like diving into the world and understanding more about it. It feels weird to kind of have the book out but not have the book out at the same time. Because this is my first webcomic. It's not yours, but because we're putting the book out in print and it was originally intended for print, it's interesting to kind of like have this half and half world of like, we are doing the webcomic, but we're also leading up to people being able to have the physical copies in their hands pretty soon.
Yeah. And just the simple fact that the pandemic has made everything so different that normally when a book would be announced, we'd be at conventions and we get to talk to our friends about it. And there'd be a fun kind of like, not to be big-headed, but people would be like, oh, we're excited to read the book or whatever. And that's just kind of like non-existent now. It's just like an empty vacuum of like, I hope someone sees these pages.
Yeah. But it's been cool seeing people react to it online and be excited,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm very, very happy with how it's been shaping up. Let me get to the pages. We can talk a little bit about, all right, screen share. All right. So, this is page, oh, and you get to see all my work tabs. Oh, that's great. This is page 14. So I guess to set the stage a little bit, page 14 is a flashback. And there's all these kind of flashbacks within the book that all have this purple, mauve kind of design scheme. Do you want to talk about how we decided on that a little bit?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember if we talked about it a little bit in the last video or not. I remember telling someone about it.
Yeah.
So all the flashbacks are obviously kind of monotone, as a way to set them apart from the other two color schemes that we have in the book, but also to kind of represent how Becca feels about her previous life in Arizona. That it all feels very washed out, very dull, and I think Ellie did a really good job bringing that to life, for lack of a better, it's kind of the opposite, but everything is muted, and when she moves to LA, even though it's not what she thinks it's going to be, what she wants it to be initially, everything feels brighter and more alive than it did for the 19 years or whatever she was in Arizona.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. These flashback sequences, and to just walk the viewer through this really quick. Obviously, Becca coming home from working at Shiver Me Burgers, her dad, who's something of a kind of sad alcoholic, asleep on the couch. She walks down the hallway and sees all these kind of family photos, and then goes into her room, and we see this last photo of her dad, her as a little girl, and her mom having cancer, obviously. Very, very sad. But I love this kind of the way that you did this right here with the picture frames floating on the wall, where they're almost kind of like hanging in space. It makes them feel like they're the important thing, and the wall behind them is just meaningless, really. It kind of gives them an emotional weight that wouldn't be if that wall was rendered in there. Um, and also, I just love this Becca chunky nose is really funny to me. Um, yeah, I love the way these flashback sequences are rendered by both you and Ellie. They're so evocative, and they have a really nice, because usually when there's a monotone thing, people tend to chunk out like flat colors, and it's very kind of stark. But there's so much nice kind of like subtle gradation and so many values that are put into the work. It's cool. I think they came together really really nicely.
Yeah, and I had initially done like 8 pages or something for our pitch, and I colored something similar to this. But it did not have that kind of subtlety and texture in the way that Ellie's version does, which
Yeah,
is, it helps it so much.
yeah, agreed. Yeah, um, yeah, and just the decision to call out the mom in all of these and have her be
Yeah,
this
it's really
lighter
smart.
color.
Mm-hmm.
It really, when you're looking at it at first glance, it doesn't register, but your eyes just focus on her, and then when you look at it for more of an extended period of time, you realize, oh, she's a different value than the other characters because it's kind of representative of Becca's nostalgia or
Well, and it's showing you what to focus on,
totally.
leading the eye.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Next page, page 15. Continuing with the flashback sequence, we got a little Casablanca, got a little Roman holiday, a little Girl Avenue. I don't know that movie. What is Girl Avenue?
No, I may have just looked up old movie posters. I mean, the other two I obviously know.
Yeah.
But I either made it up or it's a movie poster that I found. But honestly, at this point, it is so long ago that I drew these pages that I don't actually remember.
Yeah. Well, it looks like a cool poster. I'd like to see that movie. Also, this Humphrey Bogart you drew looks like Spock, and I'm really into the idea that Spock starred in an alternate universe Casablanca. I love that idea.
I mean, I could see Leonard Nimoy
As Rick, yeah, I think that'd be great. I don't think
yeah.
I think he's too old though, but I mean too young. But
He
yeah,
would have been way too young. Yeah.
yeah, um, yeah. I would have loved that though. That'd have been awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Here is looking at you, kid. So this page shows Becca putting putting the money that she's earned from her shitty job in this kind of little lunchbox case thing. It's a pixel princess, which is like our knockoff version of Sailor Moon, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Um, uh, yeah, same thing here with the background. I love it's knocked out and just focusing on her. As Jack
And
Kirby always used to say, making comics isn't about what you draw, it's about what you don't draw.
well, and these 2 pages appear as a spread, so they have parallel uh,
Mm-hmm. Parallel color
compositions.
composition. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's the same composition. Um, and so they kind of line up together and mimic each other.
Yeah.
And I just kind of love the idea of her hiding her money to escape to the world where she can be an adult and be on her own in this little kitty lunchbox. It's just kind of sad and really shows how kind of stunted Becca is as a person.
Yeah. You summed it up perfectly. It's this idea of like, I'm gonna get away from this shit and go on be an adult. Nobody will let me be an adult here in my lunchbox that is made for 7-year-olds.
Mm-hmm.
That she probably has had since she was 7.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine she would have bought that later, but
Yeah. But yeah, this page came out great. Big fan. Big fan. And now we're back in LA, page 16.
and our first view of Stanley.
Yeah, Stan Lee, my guy, Stan Lee.
Stan Lee.
Yeah, the person who claims to have done all this work and may or may not be an unreliable narrator. Look at that hair. Is that really his hair? I don't know. Maybe that's not his hair.
I thought we were gonna leave that for the readers to figure out.
Yeah, yeah. I love the way you draw. So basically, this scene is Becca going to this audition for this weird thing, the 9-panel grid, and
In the previous set of pages, she answered a Craigslist ad for
yeah, for an audition for
this
some
is
kind
that
of,
audition.
yeah, strange art project.
Mhm.
I love the way you draw Stanley's cheekbones and his weird, sad pig nose. Yeah, yeah,
I'm a big fan of the pig nose. That's
yeah.
I don't know if it started with this, but I've been doing that more and more.
He kind of reminds me in this page of what's that actor's name? Charlie Heaton, the
I don't
guy
know him.
who
Or I do know him, but I don't know his
you
name.
don't you do you just probably don't know his name. He's in New Mutants. He plays Cannonball in New Mutants, and
I haven't seen that because we haven't watched it yet.
he's in the show about the 80s.
The show about the
It's like an
80s.
ambulance exploitation show. Stranger
Stranger
Things.
Things?
Stranger Things. Yeah, he's the boyfriend in Stranger Things. Of
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Yes, I can see why you say that.
yeah. I'm not saying that you were like looking at photos of him or anything. I just mean like his
Yeah, no, it
vibe is
wasn't.
kind of.
I think I may have started this before Stranger Things came out.
Oh God.
What year
Comics
did
take
Stranger Things
forever.
come out?
I don't fucking know. 2016? I don't know.
Well, I started drawing this in 2017,
All right.
which
Well,
is forever ago.
yeah. God,
Crazy.
so depressing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so basically this page is, him kind of giving Becca direction, but in these kind of weird, vague platitudes,
Mm-hmm.
saying these kind of obtuse, somewhat kind of almost like an internet demotivational poster sounding quotes to her. And she kind of doesn't know what to do with it. And then, the last panel on this page, we see her like starting to develop the Tulip persona,
Mm-hmm.
obviously symbolized by this blue panel border.
Another lovely LA decision.
Yeah, it's great.
Really good. Mm-hmm.
Good
In
job.
case you are a person who reads comics and doesn't quite understand how much a colorist can do for a book, making decisions like that seem really small but are just so significant. It really, like, colors are not interchangeable at all. It makes so much of a difference. And if I had colored this book, even though it's our book, it would have been a completely different thing.
Yeah, if you
So
had colored this book, even though you did co-color this book, it would look completely different because Ellie colored,
he
the
did the
majority
bulk of
of
the
it.
work on
Yeah,
this.
the
I just
majority of it. Yeah.
tweaked some stuff, really.
Yeah.
And, the colors are roughly based on my first 8 pages of colors. But, the decisions that she's making throughout this entire book, plus a little bit of finessing here and there, it just would not have been the same thing.
Yeah, agreed. So the next page, we jump cut to their house, and she's coming in, and she's like, Eve, God damn it, where are you? I have news. We find Eve.
One of my favorite drawings in this whole book, by the way.
Yeah, we find
finding
Eve.
weird, dumb yoga positions to put Eve in.
Yeah.
Big fan of that.
Yeah, we find Eve doing yoga while on her computer and her phone.
Mm-hmm.
I also just love this too, where it's like this subtle, like, trying to be happy for your friend.
That's great.
It's great. Great.
Yeah.
Really, really into it. Love these letters. Really nice.
Thanks.
A lot of words on that page, but it doesn't feel cluttered because somebody's a good letterer.
Also, if you're a writer out there, do your artist a favor and don't put a ton of words on every page in every panel, because
or do just Also, I'm just realizing this doesn't have a tail.
oh my god. Well, too late now.
Yeah, too late now. And also, we know who this is. It's fucking Becca speaking. But
thanks for pointing that out.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah.
Look, we're not infallible. We make mistakes.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Also, this is already sent to print, so no fixing it now.
Nope. No fixing it now.
Maybe you guys will buy enough copies that there will be a second printing, and then I can fix it.
Hey. So the next page is
more flashback.
More flashback. Oh man, look at these gorgeous backgrounds. Oh, I love it. Oh, I love it. Look at that fucking cheeseburger. Oh, look at these wires.
That's a fish burger.
That's what. Oh yeah, that's. Oh right, yeah. They don't
fish
have
burger.
Burgers. Yeah, fish burger.
So this is our. What would be the word for it?
Canonical.
I was gonna say canonical, but that doesn't. I don't know if that makes sense. Anyway, we use this fast food restaurant called Shiver Me Burgers in a few of the things that we make. And it is a pirate-themed fast food restaurant with lots of weird, gross seafood fast food, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I don't even remember how it started. I just remember
we were making a story about a girl who worked at a fast food restaurant. We were trying to think of a name for a pirate-themed fast food restaurant, and I was like, Shiver Me Burgers.
Yeah, yeah, and I
have these little like, they're not exactly contests, but like back and forth brainstorm sessions, and when one of us gets a good one, they win.
Oh so, yeah, you won. Won that one. Yeah, because I had one too, and we were both like, "Oh, that's not that bad." And then you said "Shiver Me Burgers," and it was just
I think I yelled "Shiver Me Burgers."
Yeah, you yelled "Shiver Me Burgers," and it was like, "Oh yeah, that's 100%." It's absolutely Shiver Me Burgers.
Also, the best name by David Nicole standards is usually the dumbest name. So whatever is the stupidest thing you can think of.
Yeah, completely. Yeah, so this page is basically a flashback of Becca working at this place, and she sees this kind of I don't know, how do you want to describe them? Almost kind of like a Kristen
Hollywood power couple.
Yeah, Kristen Stewart and the dude
Pattinson.
from Twilight and Batman. What the shit is his name?
Robert Pattinson.
Robert Pattinson, like a case to our Pat's couple, and he's from this shitty small town in Arizona secretly, and they come into Shiver Me Burgers, and he's like all nostalgic about it, and he's like, "This is so great! Shiver Me Burgers is awesome!" And his Kristen Stewart style girlfriend is just so not about it. She's not into it.
Yeah, he's a little sweetheart, and she's already been corrupted by the Hollywood system, I guess.
Yeah. I love my favorite part of this is how excited he is about the like stupid pat sayings that they have to do, like, "Arg, mateys, your treasure will be delivered shortly." Like,
yeah,
that's really funny to me that somebody
it reminded me, like, I used to go to Jamba Juice a lot. And I always hated saying the dumb names that they had for all their drinks. Where I'm like, do we really have to say mango a go-go? Can't I just have the mango one?
Yeah, there was a place in San Diego when I lived there called Smash Burger. I think it's a chain that exists elsewhere, but yeah, I just knew of them from there. And I always hated saying, like, it was like down the street from my house, so it was an easy place to go. And I always hated being like, "Can I have a double smash burger with smash fries and a smash drink and a smash," like, can I just tell you can I just have a large fry? You mean big smash? I don't fucking know, man.
That's better than the like Bob's Burgers style, like, really pun names.
Yeah, totally.
Like,
yeah.
Do I have to orange appeal? I don't want to order an orange appeal. I just want to I just want a smoothie.
Yeah, totally. But this scene sees her like kind of freaking out and being like, oh man, it's them.
Celebrity
Also,
spotting in middle of nowhere, Arizona.
yeah. Also, her phone not loading fast enough and her saying "damn you AT&T" just makes me laugh every time.
Relatable.
Yeah. The next page is another flashback page. Ooh, look at those! Look at those! I don't even know what those are called from ships, but those weird little net.
Rigging?
Is that rigging? I don't
No,
know.
it's not. It's the like netting stuff,
Yeah.
but I don't
Whatever it
actually
is,
know.
I'm into it. I love it. It's drawn so well. Um, she takes them their food. He's really excited. He confesses that his name isn't really Giorgio, whatever the fuck his stage name is. It's Walter Nebbits, and which just makes me laugh every time too. This is one of my favorite scenes in the first issue. I really, you just nailed this guy so well, and I was so excited when it came out, especially because drawing the interior of a fucking fast food restaurant is a thankless job that no one will understand how hard it is.
There's just so many like little things of cup lids and ketchup packets and weird paraphernalia for
Yep.
making fast food.
Yep.
But just in order to make it look right, you kind of have to do all of it or none of it. And like finding the balance of like, I'm not going to spend 10 days on this one tiny background, but also it needs to look cluttered and like full of stuff it's kind of a tricky balance. Also, I think this scene is the invention of the boat table, boat booth, which appears in other of our books coming out soon.
Forest Hills Bootleg Society, published by Simon Schuster, coming out summer 2022.
Yeah. Shiver Me Burgers plays a major role in that book as well.
Yeah.
I had to draw a lot of those dumb boat booths because I made it for this one scene.
Yeah.
I was like, this is a stupid idea. Now I have to draw it forever, even though I hate drawing boats.
This is a stupid idea. I should do it for this. Oh, wait. I'm locked into this now, and I have to fucking make this, like, stupid boat design for, like, every book from now on? Oh, no. What did I do?
I mean, I guess they don't all have to have them. Maybe it's franchise. They're different.
I don't think that's how a franchise works. But yes, I don't think they always have to look like this.
Well, but not every McDonald's is the same.
I don't know that that's true. I think that they have. I think it's
decidedly true.
No, I think they have certain corporate eras where, like, every X number of decades they refresh everything and redesign all of the stuff. But I don't know that you could just like have a McDonald's that is like, we're gonna have folding chairs.
No, obviously not that. But I mean, like, there's different versions.
Yeah.
And some of them are like, when they have money, they do boat booths, and when they don't, they have just normal tables or whatever,
When they have money, they do boat booths. When they don't have money, it's just a wooden chair that has like a boat painted on the back of it.
Or the back is a steering wheel.
Yeah, the wheels. Yeah.
Oh, there's one on the wall right here.
Oh yeah, right there. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
Spending a lot of time on this Shiver Me Burger stuff.
Yeah.
Sure, everybody cares.
Yeah, there's just so many people that just are clamoring for Shiver Me Burgers content. So this is now we're back. We've jumped forward in time again, and now we're basically at like a costume fitting, where Chloe, the costume designer that works on all the videos, is helping Becca get into this costume. Becca takes a photo of it and is getting ready to shoot for the first time.
And this is right before that first scene of the book.
Yes, right before the lay beginning, as they say. That's the technical writer's term, lay beginning. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think, oh no, it's not the first time we see Chloe, because we see her in that interview scene, but this is kind of a more proper introduction to her and showing what she does. And
Yeah, it gives
For
more
being
context.
kind of evasive when it comes to Stanley.
Hmm. Yeah,
Or Paradox, I guess, at this point.
yeah. This is a really nice drawing though of her face. It's a nice portrait.
Yeah, I mean, there's some pretty decent drawings of Chloe in the book, but none of them will top the character design drawing that I did of her. Like,
Yeah.
I hate when you make a design and you're like, man, that's it, I love it, and you can never do it again.
Yep. Yeah. I've been there before. In fact, I've been there so many times that I like Cutie Boy in Mary Tyler Moore. His original thing is that he was going to have his whole right side was going to be circuitry. And then by the time he made it onto the page, it was just like his right arm was going to be circuitry. Like he had lost it in like a fight and they had just rebuilt it, but they hadn't put the housing on it. And then I got tired of doing that. So like midway through the book, he just gets housing on his arm because I didn't want to keep drawing the circuitry. But then later in the book, there's some stuff like title pages and stuff where I had forgotten that I had put housing on it. So he just has raw circuitry on his arm exposed again. It's just like, bro, come
Yeah.
on, what are you doing?
That's funny to me that you would have gotten bored of that because you love that shit.
Yeah, I think it was, yeah, I don't know why. It was specifically his character design. I became more interested in the shapes of like his bubble shoulders and the shapes of his arms.
Mm-hmm.
And the drawing of the circuitry kind of became second fiddle, and you could kind of feel it in the pages when I wasn't really drawing them. And so
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I should just put the covering back on his arms because it doesn't service you to commit to a bit that you're not fully committed to, you know?
Yeah. I mean, well, they live in a high-tech lab thing, right? So
Yeah.
somebody fixed him.
Yeah. Somebody fucking in between
You gotta
scenes, they were just
upgrade.
like, and he's like, I don't know if this arm is attached correct. I should do some tests.
We should talk about the page. um, yeah, so this page is Becca seeing herself for the first time in this kind of fancy couture outfit and kind of registering the difference between how she feels in that world versus how she feels in her real life.
And also notice the reflection in the mirror.
Yes, it is blue because it is a reflection, but also because that is the color that we are using to symbolize Tulip versus Becca through the entire book.
Illustrated
Thematic.
here. Thematic.
Mhm.
Yeah. Next page.
Very self-critical.
Yep, being self-critical, looking at her body in the mirror, and then watch your step and find your light. What? Point your face at the light. Which
she doesn't even know basic film terms.
Yep.
Because she has so little experience at this point, even though she's been in LA for like 5 years.
And this moment right here comes from Dark Shadows.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
Yeah, this moment comes from the 60s
Grayson Hall.
The 60s soap opera Dark Shadows. There is a character on that show portrayed by the actor Grayson Hall, who every scene she's in is this operatic, weird performance where she's never looking at the other characters. And at first we were both just like, what the fuck is she doing? Why is she always just like staring off?
It's always like this.
Yeah. Yeah. And we were both very befuddled by it. And then I did some research and realized that she's finding her light. So whenever she's in a scene, she just found the biggest light and stared at it. Because when a light is pointing right at your face, it washes out your wrinkles and makes you look better.
Mm-hmm.
And she didn't give a fuck about
actually acting in the
scene. She just wanted to look good.
Which is just stare off into the distance. I mean, like, it kind of works because she's like this mysterious, creepy doctor lady, but like, she's not like reacting to the other characters at all.
Yeah. It's.
I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, I love Grayson Hall.
Yeah.
She also had like two dogs that she lived with above some really famous theater on Broadway. She had like a penthouse. I think her first husband was like a really wealthy real estate developer or something, and he passed away, and so she ended up with this like massive penthouse above, like, I don't even know what the theater was, but it was still some theater in like on Broadway in New York. And she would always have the other actors on Dark Shadows over for like tea and stuff, and they would like just kind of shoot the shit in her massive palatial estate. And yeah, she was a very eccentric woman who definitely knew how to find her light. That's where
You can
this.
tell by watching the show. Also, that name, Grayson Hall, we got to use that for something.
Yeah, it's a great name. So that's where this moment comes from. Um, and then Paradox saying like, "All right, here we go. We're gonna do some shit." And then, bum, ba, da, ba, everyone was Tulip.
The transformation happens.
Yeah. This is a dope spread. I love this page. I love the eyebrows. What up, Lily Collins? You want to play Tulip in a movie? Let's do this.
I mean, it's her, Anya Taylor-Joy, who is my every time I see a photo of her, especially lately, because she has the like super long bleach blonde hair and the dark eyebrows, like, come on. It's perfect.
Yeah, I agree. So I don't know that there's a ton to say about this spread other than it's fucking dope. It's the kind of culmination point of the whole issue. This is what we've been leading towards. And
yeah, it's obviously a big moment for Becca. It's a really big transition for her. In terms of the actual page, the only thing I would say is that, again, Ellie did a great job coloring it. All of the swirly stuff in the background and sparkles, like Becca is just on the white background, so there wouldn't really be anything there. But it felt like a really empty, it didn't feel like enough to have nothing there, and adding these pretty swirly, I think I tried some like flower petals or something, going very manga with it initially, and was just like, that doesn't work. And this solution, I feel like, worked really well.
Yeah, agreed. And now we have we jump cut from there to the bedroom of Becca. A little double page spread of kind of the stuff on her nightstand, some fingernail polish and necklace and stuff with her phone right here. And oh yeah, and then the final page of this issue,
there's a page in between.
Oh, okay. Well, it's the same thing. Basically, it's this composition, but all these notifications.
It's her phone lighting up, and then a couple of notifications from each of her apps, and then this would be the final page.
Yeah.
Where things really start. Oh wait, no. Maybe it is this one. I don't know. I don't remember.
It's fine. There's a couple pages of stats of
an escalation of notifications is the point.
Yes.
And it's funny, we've been having this discussion about stats specifically because we've been watching Invincible, and there's a whole thing in the Invincible comics about stats, which is something that we actually do pretty frequently. I like them a lot because I feel like it allows you some control over pacing in a way that is kind of, I don't want to say it's harder to do, but it pulls moments apart and really extends the time that you're spending with a person or a moment or whatever it is. And I think a lot of people, particularly people who are buying single issues, who want to get the most out of their money and those kinds of things, sometimes don't enjoy that as much. And I love it. And so spending 3 spreads on this one little moment of her having her phone blow up, which we technically probably could have done in like one panel, or 2 panels. I think it really kind of brings impact to the moment in a way that I don't think it would have been as successful if we hadn't spent that much time on
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I completely agree. There's something about really soaking in that moment that just feels different than seeing the same information on one panel.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and also, it's not like we're doing the mid 2000s decompression thing where an entire issue is just like one conversation or whatever. Like there's been a full meal, and now we're soaking in this extra like denouement, like kind of.
Yeah, that being said, that totally sounds like something we would do.
Yeah, 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 definitely. Yeah, it 100% is something I would do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, man, I like spending some time. I like lingering on those sad little moments, you know.
There's a place for action, and there's a place to take your time
Mhm.
and sit in it.
Mhm. Yeah.
And, when you're watching a movie, the filmmaker has complete control of how long you're spending in any one moment. In comics, the reader is the one in control. So this is a little way to kind of exert some control over the reader, which I think sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. I think it works here.
Yeah, I like it. But also there's so much room for experimentation in comics because it's such a young art form and there's so few people who've really
Mm-hmm.
been in the medium trying to accomplish new or interesting things.
Yeah.
The majority of people working in comics are attempting to make comics like comics that have previously existed. And that's cool. That's a worthy endeavor. And there are periods of time where I too am trying to make something that feels like something else. But there's also something, in my opinion, to be said for pushing the medium and trying new things. Like you and I made a book that was all one room, and it's just one double page spread of the room where people move around within the page as you turn the pages in the book.
Mm-hmm.
I made a book where there's 2 150-page fight scenes where it's like a flip book where every time you turn the page, people move around and the background scrolls and moves and
Mm-hmm.
um,
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think working at indie publishers, Dark Horse is kind of like not quite indie, but I find some of the most interesting experimentation at really small indie publishers or zine fests or things where, it's not as much about selling as many copies as possible, at big 2 publishers or anything like that. And you get a little more freedom. And I've been seeing a lot of younger cartoonists, people who are inspired by manga, people who are inspired by animation, really kind of pushing the boundaries of what you can do. And I by no means think that what I do is necessarily pushing any boundaries. I try my best, but there are far reaches of what you could do with comics that are just unexplored. And I'm beginning, especially online, to see people kind of experimenting with those things, and it's really cool to see.
yeah,
That's what excites me about comics.
the best of times, worst of times. The mainstream is real bad right now. The indie space is fucking amazing right now.
Yeah, and there's no money in either.
Yep, no money in either, baby. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, the only place that you're really seeing that start to blossom is in book publishing, Big Five, novel publishing, Scholastic, those kinds of thing. And right now it's so limited to what they think they can make money on, middle grade and YA, and it can be very restrictive. And again, whenever you're working for a big company, they're gonna kind of put some reins on you.
yeah, very much so. Yeah, but this is we reached the end of chapter 1. Chapter 1 is out
We did
in
it.
the world.
One whole chapter. Yeah, so the rest of this week will be the beginnings of chapter 2, and hopefully I'm trying to figure out if by the end of chapter 2, it might be mid chapter 3, that book will be out. So
yeah, if you're enjoying the webcomic, please go pre-order the book. You can find links up there in the giant tab that says pre-order the book.
mm-hmm.
It's very stealthily hidden. Yeah, pre-order the book. Everyone's Tulip. Go do it.
Yeah, and you'll be able to read the whole thing in one sitting if you want to, but please don't. Take your time.
Yeah, Nikki G, where can people find you on the interwebs?
You can find me on Twitter, Nicole Goux, and on Instagram at Ngoux, and my website is just nicolegoux.com. That's Goux, in case you're not staring at it on this about page. And Dave?
You can find me heydavebaker.com, xdavebakerx on most socials, and yeah, go pick up Everyone's Tulip. It'll be a good time. You'll like it. It'll be fun.
And Night Hunters is still coming out.
Night Hunters,
right.
You can find Night Hunters in comic book stores everywhere. You can find Star Trek Voyager 7's Reckoning in comic book stores everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck Off Squad, my other book with Nicole, and Nicole's other book, Shadow of La Batgirl.
Now available in like 10 countries, which is just baffling to me.
It's fucking crazy. Wait, is it German, Italian, French?
German, Italian, French, Portuguese. I feel like there's another one, but I don't remember.
Yeah.
Maybe Spanish?
I think there was a Spanish one too. You're living that life when you don't remember how many languages your book has been translated into.
Yeah, I mean, it's very it's a little surreal. Like having a book translated into French is like weird childhood life goals. So that happened now. It's crazy. Just crazy.
You out here.
Thanks, DC.
Yeah, thanks, DC. Thanks, Papa Jim Lee.
Yeah.
All right, let's get out of here. Let's go make some comic books and shit.
Let's do it.
All right, bye.
Bye.